The Diary of a Certified Psychopath. Off the crank. A sneaky sharpening of the wits, albeit on blunt legs, but in the nick of time to passively participate in a delayed gastro-pub quiz at my nearest and dearest venue for that rare breed of beachcombing socialite who aims to squander any unearthed loose change on Napoleonic brandy, or fill a Roman deposit bottle with tepid tap water and pretend it's non-alcoholic gin. A mecca for manic disco addicts, mid-90s tribute acts and hardcore bingo bingers, but where competition is considerably less cutthroat than on the average British sitting room couch, and locally drafted non-craft bitters, cask-matured ales, hand-pulled lager shandies and botanically brewed ginger ale all remain cheaper by the VAT to card-carrying members than budget-label Prosecco, bulk bought from Cash and Carry. This impulsive lobe loosener was undertaken because thinking on a full stomach is even trickier than trying to train Apple's ultra-sensitive speech recognition technology to correctly transcribe tongue twisters, a vocally vexing challenge even on the triple beam-forming studio-quality microarrays that Camp Cupertino's deepest-pocketed customers have long had built into their super-shallow MacBook Pros. Let alone the partially blocked pinhole of my weather-beaten Gen 3 iPhone SE, mounted on the stubby stem of Niner's gravel-reared thoroughbred, with its flexible front forks fully active, as I pedalled in pentagons along the scarified surface of Basin Road South, into a sea breeze that felt far stronger when blowing through loose-fitting loungewear than our Met Detectives' smartest windsocks reported from their ivory masts. Arrived at Shoreham Harbour's notorious lock gates, moments after having informed my parental business partner not to worry if I'm late for the third time, and to please tech your best messages as I can't top and stalk right now. By lucky chance, the outbound lane had just released a trawler into the channel's choppy waters, triggering the dock's automated sirens to sound their shrill all-clear alert, and one barred barrier to swing open, at a slowness that would test the patience of a saintly tortoise, especially one that could walk on water. Dismounted and shuffled over both hinged bridges, crossing paths and exchanging empathetic eye-rolls with fellow pedlars and pedestrians, whose journeys to the beach for a memorable glimpse of thinly veiled westering sunshine had been severely extended. Hopped back upon my supple steed, and had barely ground up to crawling speed when an imposing figure swept up alongside and past my left shoulder, before rejoining the Autobahn 259 amidst a droning mobile tailback, made up mainly of long-haul truckers and hybrid SUVs, switched to ultra-eco mode, all occupied by itchy-footed office jocks, praying that the 5 minutes of electric propulsion left in their rapidly discharging batteries would convey them to Shoreham's brand new and dually appointed fueling facilities for another tariff-free tank of carbonated vitality and at least 150 times the kilowatt-hours I incinerated throughout this energy-sparing spin. Meanwhile, the casually clothed commuter I eyed weaving deftly through this motorised chain gang gripped the sturdy flat bar of a stout, triple-cranked Trailblazer that I suspected was purchased as a health-conscious gift from one of our country's 2 remaining high street franchises, you know, on the premise that its incentivised owner would complete at least 3 carbon-free trips to work a week, in fine weather. Commendable, if true, but notwithstanding such mass-produced solutions, however practical as daily drivers, had no right to be out-dragging the high-pedigree alternatives offered by niche brands, not least a pedal-powered magic carpet. The burly frame of this entry-level off-roader bore hardly a scratch, and was armed with deep-treaded tyres wider than a thumb's length, which, when combined with its pilot's broad physique, belied the velocity he was sustaining into the same adverse atmospherics. Mashed into the visceral discomfort zone, then hunched low in the saddle with tightly tucked elbows and hands gently hugging the hoods straight ahead of a centered upper body, using my own silhouette as a visual aid to eliminate any pronounced lateral wiggle, all of which contrived to help me chase down my oblivious target and commence an interval of covert wheel sucking, just in time for him to curb stomp around a red signal at Kingston Lane's coastal junction. A rush of blood to the quads compelled me to do the same, but at a responsible walking pace, whereafter I cannily slipstreamed a double-decker that had just deposited one of its payload opposite Southwick's Screwfix superstore, and reduced my arrears to striking distance for a second time, without any voluntary hits of oxygen starvation. However, I retained neither the strength nor bravado to return the favour by repassing my unwitting towmeister with a smile and relevant comment, such as, "To be continued."